Hello there, Emma. I'm just messaging to tell you that you should marry Gerald and not Tony.
Mimi, please. How many times have we already had the same conversation? The man that I've been dating this whole time is Tony, and he's the man I'm going to marry.
What are you talking about? I need to make sure that Gerald gets married before his brother. I realized that when Tony brought you home with him that I had to do something to help Gerald find a wife quickly. So anyways, that's why you're going to be marrying Gerald instead. And I won't take no for an answer.
Mimi, you can say whatever you'd like, but it isn't going to change my mind about this. I'm going to marry Tony, and that's final. I mean, I don't even think I've spent more than an hour cumulatively with Gerald.
But I'm sure that you would come to love him if you just knew him a little better. I promise that he really is an amazing guy, and you wouldn't regret marrying him. Don't make me force this to happen. Don't forget that the two of you are married now. If you try and break this off or do anything to ruin the fact that you're engaged to Gerald, I will sue you into oblivion. Do you understand?
I seriously have no idea how to even respond to this, but please don't spout this crazy nonsense and then threaten me with legal action. Anyways, I have to go. Hey, Tony, I'm really sorry to bug you while you're away on your business trip. But it's just that your mom started talking to me about marrying your brother again.
You're kidding me. I thought that you talked to her about that.
In fact, apparently in her head she seems to think that Gerald and I are already engaged or something. There was one time she told me that if I broke off my engagement with him, that she would sue me.
Emma, I am so sorry that you're having to deal with all this right now. I wish my mom would stop all this nonsense.
I mean, I wonder how Gerald himself feels about all this. Probably doesn't like being put in this situation any more than I do. Feels like your mom would be the kind of person to push this, whether or not the both of us wanted it or not.
I think you're probably right about that. But actually, I talked to Gerald a little bit about this earlier.
Really? I didn't know you two were still talking. When was the last time that you even had a good chat with each other? If I remember correctly, you two haven't been the closest of people ever since Gerald quit his job at the big company and shut himself up in his room.
I know that it seems that way, but that's not what's really happening at all.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the real reason why he quit his first job was because he was in the process of publishing his first book.
Oh, really? I had no idea that Gerald wrote anything.
Well, it's already a bestseller and has even been picked up by some streaming service to be turned into a show.
That's amazing! He must be so proud!
I would think so. But he's basically doing all of this online, so he hasn't had the need to go into the office or even leave his room, really. Besides, he's always more of an indoor person anyways. I think he's probably glad to have less reasons to leave the house now.
Oh, I see, so that's how things are.
But I think that he still hasn't told anyone that he's gone and published his book already. I think he's just worried that if Mom finds out, she will just use it to brag to everyone she knows about him and just never give him any peace or privacy. So that's why he's been pretending to be the antisocial shut-in this whole time. He's really just waiting for the right timing to come forward about this since he knows it's going to be a big deal. I think that Mom knows that you also work for a big company though. And so she wants you and Gerald to get married because she thinks he needs someone to take care of him.
So then, I think that I'm going to marry your brother and do everything for him on top of that?
Well, that's what my mom thinks, but Gerald doesn't want that at all.
Oh, well, as long as he understands that it isn't going to happen, that's good.
Right, So anyways, while we were talking, he explained all this to me and apologized for seeming to act so standoffish. But now the problem is how to move forward from here. In fact, Gerald was kind of hoping that you and I would be able to help him come out to the world as an author.
He wants our help with that. How so?
Well, the first thing I should let you know is that Gerald already has a fiancé.
Hold on a second, he does? I had no idea.
But yesterday, my mom was going on about how he needs to marry you again. Gerald mentioned something about already being engaged, however, and I guess my mom just assumed that he meant he was engaged to you. She thought that he was already in on her plan and was moving forward with it. You know that my mom probably wouldn't even listen to anything that proved the contrary.
Wow, your mom just really lives in her own world sometimes, doesn't she?
She has always been like this though, ever since we were little. Our mom has always tried to control every little thing we did and manage our lives.
You've told me a little bit about that before, but I feel bad for your brother having to deal with that.
But now that mom has got it in her head that Gerald is engaged to you, he is worried that that is going to make things very difficult with his own fiancée, and that is what he wants our help with. So we're going to wait for a day when mom is at home for all of us to meet and talk face to face.
Wow, this is all so much. You've been thinking about this a lot.
Well, this is going to be the talk where we can all finally decide how to get my mom out of our lives once and for all.
That's a pretty heavy task, but if you want help, just let me know what I can do.
Hello there, Emma. I assume the preparations for the wedding are continuing along nicely? And I imagine that you've already divorced Tony, yes?
I actually haven't done that at all, actually.
Excuse me? What are you doing? You need to get a divorce right now.
That's just not going to happen. In fact, Gerald said that it was a surprise for you that I wouldn't not be divorcing Tony, in fact.
A surprise for me? What is that supposed to mean?
I don't really know all the details, and can't say any more than this. I also have to go right now. Bye!
I see. Maybe Gerald is planning some kind of dramatic way to announce his marriage to you for everyone. Well, if he wants this to be a surprise, then I guess I won't ask any more questions either. Emma, where are you? Why haven't you arrived yet? You know you need to get here early for makeup and to fit into your dress. You're so late already. Emma, answer me right now. I have had just about enough of this nonsense, Emma.
Sorry, what are you talking about right now, Mimi?
I mean that you are supposed to marry Gerald so that you can take care of him. But now I've just been told that you've made a last-minute cancellation and you're not even going to be here? How could you just leave my poor boy at the altar like that?
I don't really know how else to say this, but Gerald and I were never going to get married. In fact, I'm on my honeymoon right now, actually.
What do you mean you're on your honeymoon?
I mean that Tony and I are on our honeymoon right now. And I suppose it's a good time as any to say that Tony and I got married in secret about 2 weeks ago.
But I don't get it. Gerald is here and he's still getting ready for the wedding.
Oh, I see. Well, either way, Tony and I have no intention of separating. And I was never going to marry Gerald either.
I won't let you get away with this. I mean, just who do you think is going to pay for all of this? You know that Gerald doesn't work. He can't afford something like this.
I don't know what is happening over there, and I don't want to. Please leave Tony and I out of it, okay? Now, goodbye.
Emma, you get back here right now and explain what's going on! is going on here? I am still so confused.
What are you talking about this time, Mimi?
I mean that Gerald. My poor sweet little Gerald.
What about Gerald? Did something happen?
Well, he had to cancel the wedding since his bride never showed up. So he told me that he would take care of the cleanup and just go home. But then after I left, apparently some totally random lady showed up. And Gerald married her.
So then the wedding wasn't canceled after all.
I guess not. But I don't even know who this person is.
I'd probably guess it's the woman that Gerald was dating and then engaged to.
What are you talking about? Gerald wasn't seeing anyone because he was supposed to be marrying you. I think I would know if my son was engaged to someone.
Are you really sure about that?
Of course I am. But this is all your fault. You're the one making this happen. You stabbed my son in the back, and now you've made him marry some stranger out of desperation. How do you sleep at night?
Mom, you've got to stop this. It's getting ridiculous.
Tony, what is this all about?
Did you really have no idea that Gerald was seeing this girl this whole time?
Why are you talking to me about your brother? If you're mad at him for trying to steal your wife, go talk to him about it.
Mom, he was never trying to do anything like that. You were the one that got in your head to try and set up Kenna with Gerald, but neither of them wanted that. Gerald tried to tell you that he was already engaged, but you only heard what you wanted to hear and thought that he meant to Emma. You always do this. You never listen to when other people try to say when you're wrong.
How can you say something like that to your own mother?
Because it's true. Speaking of, have you seen Gerald's room?
What about his room? Give me a moment. I don't get it. What is going on? The whole room is totally empty. There's nothing left.
Well, it was all Gerald's idea, really. Although he left you a note explaining things in your mailbox. I would read that very carefully so you can understand how Gerald and I really feel about all of this. Although it's way too late to change our minds now. This is my last goodbye, Mom. Have a nice life.
Wait, no, Tony! I still don't understand!
In the end, Gerald stopped talking to his mom without ever telling her what he really did for a living. Now he lives with his wife close to her parents. Tony and I have also moved recently as part of a job transfer. The new job was partially for better pay, but also because Tony didn't want his mom barging into the office and embarrassing him. She actually did do that, but it was too late and we were already gone. Also, Tony asked the receptionist at his office to tell her that we had quit. With no way to track us down, Mimi was left with no family to turn to, and lives out her days in her big empty house all by herself.
Tanya, leave the house now. What? I let you live in this house until you graduated high school. I did the bare minimum of what I had to, so hurry up and leave. Mother? You know, Tanya, I hate you because you're so much like your father who I divorced. My only daughter is your little sister, Rena. Hurry up and get out of my sight. You're being too sudden. I have nowhere to go. All you have to do is move into one of your company's dormitories. I'll give you 1 week, so hurry up and tell the company you work for that you're moving into their dormitory. But...
Sister! No, don't leave me, please!
Rena, I'm sorry. To tell you the truth, I don't want to leave, but...
Yeah, I understand. I understand, honestly. But there's no point in me coming with you, since I just got into high school while you just graduated high school. I'll only be a burden.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for making impossible demands of you as well.
The company dormitory I'm going to be moving into is only a 30-minute train ride from home, so we can meet whenever we want to.
Yup. I promise to come see you. And when I graduate high school, I'm gonna leave this house too. I'll be patient until then.
Yep, let's both do our best.
There's something I need to tell you, Tanya.
Oh, hi Rena, what is it?
I'm getting married.
You're getting married?
My fiancé is someone you've already met. Do you remember my boyfriend I showed you, the one who was my colleague?
Oh, that wonderful young man. I see. So you're already of that age as well, huh? It's already been 6 years since you graduated high school and left home, right?
Yup. I found a job far away from home without telling Mom. And I just left without giving her the opportunity to even oppose. I haven't returned home even once since then, just like you.
So you're not going to invite Mother to the wedding?
Yup. My fiancé's parents are understanding of my situation. And me and my husband aren't planning to invite her. Oh, but I am going to invite Dad, though.
I see. Dad is sure to be happy for you.
Yup. We're planning on having the ceremony a year from now. And have already begun preparations. I'll contact you again once the details are set.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Tanya, something terrible has happened.
What, Mother?
It's been 10 years since we last talked, right? But now's not the time to talk about the past.
What is it?
I was wondering whether I should tell you or not, since I did kick you out of the house, but to tell you the truth, today is Rena's funeral.
What?
It's been 7 years since she left home for her job. She got into a traffic accident while she was going to work. Oh, my poor child, my sweet daughter. I think I might go insane. I'm begging you, Tanya. All I have left in the world is you. I know it's late, but I truly regret pushing you away in the past. Your father came to the funeral today, so why don't you admit that you were wrong as well for not contacting me even once for 10 years, and just come home already? I don't care if it's been 10 years or not.
I wonder where to start. I'm at a wedding, so I can't come.
Huh? What are you talking about? I don't know whose wedding that is, but your sister just died. You should be prioritizing your sister's funeral over some wedding.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but given the circumstance, I think it's best for me to prioritize the wedding.
Since when did you become such a psychopath? Don't you feel even sad?
You say that as if you aren't one yourself.
What?
Bye.
Tanya! Tanya, why won't you come home? Your only sister just died. Do you have no heart? Get over here as soon as possible. Tanya, please come home, will you? You're going to cause me trouble if you don't. I'll pretend that you didn't just ignore me for the past 10 years. Let's live together, the two of us, like we used to, as mother and daughter.
Like we used to?
Tanya! Finally, you replied to my text. So, when are you going to come back?
I'm not coming back.
What?
There's no way I'm coming back. It's Rena's funeral, so come home as soon as possible. If that's what you're saying was true, then yes, I might have dropped everything and came home.
What do you mean if it's true? It is. Come home as soon as possible. To think that you would prioritize some random person's marriage ceremony over the funeral of your only sister. You really haven't changed.
But the wedding ceremony I was at was Rena's.
What?
I'm going to tell you about it since there's no point in hiding it from you any longer. Rena married a colleague of hers.
What?
I was also invited to the wedding ceremony, so I knew immediately that you were lying when you said Rena got into an accident. Today is her funeral. Because she was standing right in front of me.
You knew I was lying immediately?
Yep.
You two were in contact?
Of course we were. We're sisters, and it's not like we hate each other or something.
What?
I don't know what you were planning on achieving by faking Rena's funeral, but I wonder which one of us is the psychopath now.
Hold on just a moment. Didn't Ren already get married long before?
Huh?
I heard it from an acquaintance. Rena married 3 years ago and is now the mother of twins.
What?
Oh, something must have happened and they had to postpone the wedding ceremony until now, I guess. Well, putting that aside, it seems there's no point in lying anymore, so I'll tell you the truth. You see, I want to propose to you a marriage.
What? A marriage?
His parents are saying that either you or Ren is alright, but I knew Ren already married 3 years ago, so you're going to be the one marrying. Your husband is going to be the eldest son of the Taikazawa family.
Isn't the Takizawa family the owners of a huge mansion by the prefectural road?
Yes, this is the chance of a lifetime no matter how you look at it.
Will you please stop joking?
I'm not joking. What kind of person would joke about something like that?
Don't you think it's ridiculous bringing a marriage proposal to your daughter who you haven't talked to in the past 10 years?
Do you not understand my parental feelings and wanting you to be happy?
The last memory I have of you being anything like a parent is from when I was around 10, before you and Dad got divorced.
It's all in your head. I was a good parent to you even after that.
I let you live in this house until you graduated high school. I did the bare minimum of what I had to do. You know, I hate you because you resemble your father so much. Your sister Ren is my only daughter.
What is this so suddenly?
These are the text messages you sent me 10 years ago when you told me to leave the house. Did you think that the records wouldn't be there anymore since it's already been 10 years? I took a screenshot just in case since I thought they might be of use in the future if I ever got involved in any problem involving you. Too bad you couldn't pretend you never said these things.
Now, don't be so cold. It's already been 10 years. It's about time you want to get married and settle down yourself, right? It seems the Takizawa family want to have a grandchild to inherit their property soon. So they want their eldest son to marry a woman in her 20s. You're 28, right? It's a win-win situation. Like I said, the Takizawa family are filthy rich, so this is the chance of a lifetime.
I refuse.
Why?
Because I'm already married?
What?
I don't know where the information got twisted, but it's me who married 3 years ago and gave birth to twins, not Rena.
What did you say?
By the way, Rena herself turned in her marriage papers as soon as the ceremony ended. So neither of us are single and we can't accept this marriage proposal of yours.
But that's going to be a problem for me. Get divorced immediately and marry the eldest son of the Takizawa family.
The eldest son of yours. He's about your age, right? Meaning he's in his 50s. This information from 10 years ago. but he's already divorced twice and has no children, right? The fact that you're talking about a marriage proposal probably means that he's been divorced at least 3 times by now, right? You also talked about how they wanted someone to inherit their property and how he wants to marry a woman in her 20s. So that must mean he still has no children. All this combined with the fact that he's offering you a marriage proposal with your daughter you haven't talked to in 10 years. It seems that this eldest son you're pushing on me is quite the landmine.
But he's still filthy rich.
I'm sorry, but I can't.
Wait, Tanya!
Bye then.
Tanya, I'm begging you. Come home and marry into the Takezawa family, please.
What? You still haven't given up? Do you realize that what you're asking of me is impossible because I'm already married and have children?
But I already accepted $100,000.
Huh? $100,000? What are you talking about?
Well, you see, none of the women in our hometown want to marry into the Takezawa family anymore. I thought that you must not know anything about the Takezawa family since you haven't been home for so long, and that if I talked about how rich they were, we would be able to get you to marry him.
And so I became a target for them?
Yes, I received $100,000 as a thanks from them.
Don't tell me. You agreed to their proposal without even waiting for my answer?
But I had no idea that you got married before Rena and had children.
Then why don't you just give back the $100,000? Tell them I didn't tell you already got married or something and put an end to this business.
But I already used $50,000.
You what?
My only hope of getting out of this mess is you marrying into the Takezawa family.
You exasperate me. If that's the case, I don't want to be involved in this.
Huh?
Do something about it yourself, okay?
Tanya!
Goodbye then.
Tanya!
My mother was always the type that only cared about themselves. But after me and Rena left home, this trait of hers got even worse, it seems. She's now infamous among the neighborhood for being a huge nuisance. You can probably guess that the Takezawa family, a family of wealthy capitalists, are quite strange themselves, asking for the daughter of such a well-known neighborhood nuisance. My mother did all she could to buy time after I refused her offer. But it seemed that the Takezawa family found out from somewhere that both her daughters were married. And they were furious when they found out. Obviously, they asked my mother to give back the $100,000 they gave her. But since she already spent $50,000, she was forced to take a loan from somewhere to pay it back. According to a relative who lives in my hometown, she was one day seen entering a car that had come for her and disappeared. To this day, no one has been in contact with her since.